Content warning. Cursing. The dream.
Okay, my name's Ben, and we're in a changing room at 7 base. The audio here is great. And so, I had a dream, and I was very uncomfortable. I could feel it sort of inside my chest and in my head. I felt impaired, and so I also feel like my judgment, I just felt uncomfortable. And I was with someone else. And the feeling that I got from that was strange, yet I wasn't removing myself from the situation. And the next thing I knew, I'm staring at my phone screen, and it's completely shattered. It's cracked to bits. And the last time I had a phone, the same thing happened. And it was like I was staring at that time, but I was literally picking off shards of glass from my phone. Like I'm removing the screen because it's all plucked and broken away. And it really alarmed me. So I woke up in a panic, thinking my phone screen is shattered. I just spent like $1,200 on this. This sucks. But this is just strange. So when I looked at the phone, my phone was completely fine and everything was fine. But I had to calm myself down because I woke up in a complete panic. And I went out and I bought a phone case right away. And that's my dream.
What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay, I love this dream because it's my favorite category of dream, which is, well, it's almost this category, but not quite, but it's close enough, of just dreams that are just like about really basic everyday stuff that remind you to do practical everyday stuff once you wake up. So he just dreams, has like a really dramatic experience of what could happen, very plausibly has happened before in his life. With other phones, like everybody's, smashed their phone.
This is your favorite category of dream.
I think it's just the funniest category.
Favorite one to have?
No, it's like basically the only one I have. So,
that is not true.
It's not true.
You've had some wild
But
ones.
I also have a lot of this type of dream, and I find it like, you wake up and you're just like, hey, cool one brain, thanks, buddy. And then you go and buy a phone case.
Yeah,
it's true. Like, I know, I get it. It's something that I have to do. Like, this is an important errand. Don't put it off.
Yeah.
Remember how this feels when you just smashed $1,200 and had to pick glass out of your hand? Like,
yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't
get
that.
a phone case. And then he did it.
He's not
going to have that problem.
Through. Yeah.
So
no avoidance there.
A+
for Ben. Okay, so I'm going to pull a move that is, I guess, typical of the way that we interact about dreams, where you're talking about what it's actually about, and I'm going to talk about something completely different.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll give you this one because there's also a whole lot about like interpersonal stuff at the beginning that's like probably what,
Yeah, it's also about that. But I'm actually going to tunnel into the phone thing.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I mean, also related to interpersonal stuff. But it's just that I've been thinking a lot about what phones represent in cultural consciousness at this point in time, because they're definitely something that we all, it's like they're kind of extensions of our bodies now. There's so much anxiety when they don't work. Mm-hmm. They represent like our connections to other people, I think largely, and also the way that other people perceive us. And I started thinking about this because I am in a situation right now where I have a piece of shit phone and I have a replacement phone ready that was given to me. I didn't even have to buy it. Somebody didn't want it anymore. I have it. Tristan, my partner, got it all set up for me in a very nice way.
Oh, he did it.
He hasn't transferred my memory of this phone onto that phone. But he he charged it. He whatever. It was ready. I could have done the step that I need to do, which is just to back up the phone that I currently use and start with this new phone. And I just am not doing it. And I've been curious about why. And one could say, well, you could just do it. And I could, but I haven't yet. Why is that? It's been over a month.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. And so I'm trying to figure out what it means to me.
Do you think
where all this avoidance is coming from?
Is it that you don't want to do the process of backing it up because you think it's going to be annoying to do that thing? Or is it to do with the actual phone? You like having... You actually don't know which one it is?
I don't know. I can't tell.
You don't
There's a big pile of avoidance
hold
there.
this one in your hand right now. What do you feel?
Yeah, I feel good about this phone, but also not good about it because it doesn't do a lot of things that I want it to do.
Don't think about it. Just feel.
I feel good with the phone in my hand.
If you're doing some Marie Kondo shit on that, is it you like the phone?
It sparks very complicated kind of joy.
What about the other one? It's just neutral. It doesn't have your people inside it yet.
I like that it has a blue case, the new phone, but I don't like how big it is. It's very big. But I like the fact that it's going to take non-blurry photos, which this one doesn't. And this one doesn't support many apps.
Okay, I kind of think... Okay, so I had this experience... This is a real divergence from the stream, okay?
We're going to come back.
Still, yeah, we'll come back. But when I moved into the apartment where I currently live, when we first went and looked at it...
Yeah.
I was like, this place gives me just sad, shitty vibes. I don't like it.
Right.
It's ugly. Mm-hmm. It's got a garbage carpet. I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
Okay.
And then first, Brendan moved into it and put his stuff in. I was like, oh, it's okay here. And then when I moved in and put my stuff in, I was like, I like this now. And now I feel like I love it.
Yeah.
It's just, we've set it up really nice and it's my home and it's, it looks good.
Yeah.
It's the blank, I have, I think, a really hard time imagining what that blank thing is going to be once I inhabit it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you feel the same about the phone because you like this phone, you feel attached to it because there's people inside of it you love.
a lot together, me and this phone.
Yeah, and it's got all your shit inside. It's got all your it's logged into all your stuff. Yeah. And that's some they're all about away in a way that you don't have to actually deal with them, but you know that they're there.
Yeah.
And the thinking about having to bring all of those items up to the surface and then slot them into a new place just feels very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit worried that somehow I'm gonna do it wrong. Like the way that I did the internet wrong today and then deleted these accounts. I didn't, it's anyway, it doesn't matter.
Today I did the internet wrong.
It's more like the internet did me.
I think it was mutual wrongdoing.
It was mutual wrongdoing. We entered into a bad thing together, but I just feel like maybe I'm going to fuck it up and then I'm going to lose these things that feel quite precious to me, but also that I probably don't need. You know what? This is actually making me feel like I'm talking about a relationship with a human being. And then it's all of these same feelings apply. You know when you're going through a breakup?
Are you almost crying right now?
I can't tell if I'm laughing or crying.
Oh, wow. This is way more complicated than I actually understood.
Everything is. What I'm always trying to tell you. Okay, so it's like when you're going through a breakup and you're before the phase where you've actually accepted that it's over. You're in the phase where you're thinking about all the things you're going to lose with this particular person and you can't picture another situation that's going to give you those same things or that you'll feel satisfied by on a different level. It's you feel like you're going to become a different person in order to not be with this person anymore.
Yeah.
And that's very scary, even though ultimately it's always fine once you get past the breaking point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the same as the blank apartment. It is. You don't know that you don't know how, it's so hard to imagine the future.
Yeah.
In a way that's fleshed out enough.
Yeah.
That you can feel as comfortable with it as you feel with the present.
Yeah, because you're necessarily going to adjust and be different in that new space, and that's just kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, just because of the unknown.
Yeah, it's the unknown.
So scared of the unknown.
Yeah, and because we have this feeling that we're stable people who always feel and think the same way, even though our moods change 30 billion times a day.
Yeah.
And then every time you're in a new mood, you're this is the mood that I always have and the truth of how I feel. And so then thinking about yourself being in a different state that feels totally different and liking things you don't even like yet It's just very destabilizing. It's like, what am I in my body then? I'm like some kind of alien force that's always shifting around, and who knows what's going to happen. Yeah. And that's just unsettling. And okay, so that's part one about why I am thinking about phones lately. Part two is that I was talking about this with a friend who then told me the story.
Stream?
No, I was talking with a friend about my relationship with my phone and the fact that I'm not changing phones even though I should. And then he was telling me about a situation where he was going to see an ex who he hadn't seen in a while. And it had been a painful breakup, it sounded like. And he had his phone with him, but he didn't have a case yet for the phone. And then the experience of seeing this person was very painful. Felt very vulnerable in a not good way. And during this experience, his phone screen got smashed. And then he went home and I was like, that is like too heavy-handed of a metaphor, for real life. That should be a dream or like a novel that's not written well. And he agreed and he was like, yeah, but it's just what happened, and it's like, and then he bought a case. And it was, and then this dream I heard after that story was told to me. God. And so then I'm just thinking a lot about what we think about phones and how phones represent.
They're like our little glass fragile souls we're carrying outside of our bodies. Carrying
our little souls around. Our connectivity with other people. And then like when that gets hurt, our screens get smashed.
Oh my God, it's way too easy. That's stupidly direct. Like, come on.
I know.
Okay, so basically this dream is entirely just that. It's entirely that your friend's experience.
It's the friend's story.
Like you have this very fragile object that's like a very integral part of yourself and your relationships to other people. And it's precarious.
Yeah. It's fragile.
Yeah, and he was describing these like uncomfortable feelings like in his chest and his head, which are like both places from which you interact with people.
Yeah, it's true.
And
there's always the tension between your head and your heart in those situations where you feel vulnerable in a way that's uncomfortable. It's like your head is trying to protect you and your heart is all like, ah.
Yeah. And he felt he had impaired judgment.
Yeah, that you said he felt impaired, which was interesting. I kind of enjoyed it's like I find it both a little bit like, oh, I want to know more, and also intriguing that he says nothing about what the situation is until the phone screen breaks. You just know the feeling that he has in the situation.
Yeah, it was but maybe he doesn't even.
Yeah, maybe it was non-specific within the dream.
Well, although I wonder if it was. And who was the person? What was his nature of his relationship to the person? Was it just like placeholder blank figure human, or was it like somebody specific he knows?
Yeah.
But regardless, he's like feeling strange and unsettled and like he's not in control of his.
Yeah, he wasn't removing himself from the situation was one of the things he said. It's like he maybe had a feeling like he should be because he's really uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good, but he's not getting himself out of there. And that was the same with the friend. Honestly, it's like it's too weird how close they are. But the friend who told me this real story about going to see an ex, it was like, the conclusion that he came to was like, I shouldn't be around that person. So probably while he was around that person, what he was thinking was, I shouldn't be around this person.
And
but
he were still there.
Yeah. And his phone screen broke.
Yeah.
Is this just like a... like, is this something that... I wonder if other people, have experienced this same thing of like having an experience around being around somebody who's hurt them emotionally and then a phone screen breaking within that experience or like right afterwards. I wonder if that would stand out to a bunch of people as something that they've gone through.
What? I am sure that so many people have had that experience
just because
everybody
has
access and everybody smashes their phone.
And it's really satisfying when metaphorical reality and emotional reality like coincide in that way.
Metaphorical reality.
The only reality that I never said anything about real reality.
No. When physical reality and metaphorical world?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know, man.
I just feel like physical reality is always metaphorical reality.
Because to you, the physical world is just one big metaphor producer.
Big tangle of metaphors.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to read it. Okay, so is there anything else that we ought to point out for Ben in understanding his subconscious in this situation? I mean whoa.
I also just wanted to talk about how he's picking the shards. Like, this is not something that, I guess I have slightly done this, but like picking the shards of glass out of the smash, but like as though you're going to pick the pieces off and you'll be able to see better what's underneath, but that's not how it works. You're just breaking it more.
Oh my God. Whoa. Yeah, you can't, there's nothing to get to underneath it. The screen is the thing.
Yeah.
How does that relate to our souls?
This fucked our metaphor right up.
Well, maybe not, though. Because it's kind of like, it's like there's no ego underneath all of this shit. There's nothing at the core. We are the things that we are. There's no, like, mystical thing at the center. We're just ourselves. And so when we get hurt, it's like there's nothing to get to beneath the hurt. It is us getting hurt. Like, you can't peel off that layer that hurts. You just have to figure it out,
Oh, yeah. Then you can't peel off that layer of cracked screen.
But you can just encase yourself in an invulnerable shell so
go out and do that.
Again, we should all go out and encase ourselves. I don't know. I mean, I guess it is a good idea to get a case for your phone. I've personally never had one, and the next phone I have has one. It just came with it.
Well, it's good because... Well, I mean,
it does
it's especially good when you spend $1,200 on a phone. Less important when you spend no money on a phone.
When people just give you their
but
garbage
also,
phones.
like, maybe if you just got a free phone and then you smashed it, then you'd end up actually spending any money on a phone, and that would be more than zero. So
it definitely is a good idea to have a phone case. I don't know how to square that with the metaphor of the phone as the soul, because I don't necessarily feel like one. I guess it's
I don't think it needs to.
But it would be more satisfying if it did. I mean, maybe it's that a case doesn't actually block any of the receiving and giving. It's like a container that allows you to be stable and to like reduce some of the risk. Yeah. But you're still, all the functionality is still there. It's like there's a feeling sometimes in me that like if I'm not in my rawest state emotionally, if I'm not like letting everything flow exactly as it wants to flow, then I'm like somehow blocking myself from experience, when maybe really it's like you can be grounded and like contained in some way, and it doesn't mean you're not going to have authentic connection.
Yeah, you can remove yourself from that situation with that person that you shouldn't be around,
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to. You don't have to go there and see them. You don't have to. If you have to interact with them, you don't have to be really vulnerable with them, because that's not part of your thing anymore that you're doing with that person.
Yeah.
Like wear that case.
Yeah, you can put your case
when you
on.
need to.
Yeah,
and you can still glow through your screen eyes, soul.
Yes,
eyes,
I love
to the people that you want to.
I didn't expect to get here with this. But I'm glad we did.
Yeah. So all that metaphor plus just a generally good like PSA of like, here's the errand that you have to do today when you wake up.
Let's all go get your phone cases.
Yeah, love it. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Help us keep making this by subscribing to and reviewing the podcast wherever you listen to it, and following and liking us on social media.
If you love this, you can support us on Patreon.
We will reward you.